Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys Board Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I am Jeff.
And this week, all of you podcast listeners won't have to deal with like us interacting with stream at all because we're not streaming this episode.
Because it's Labor Day.
It's Labor Day and it's middle of the day.
Yeah,
we gave Twitch the day off.
1 p.m. we were going to start like an hour ago, but that did not.
We were going to arrive an hour ago.
We were going to arrive an hour and 15 minutes ago. Anyhow, we're here. We're doing it now. I have coffee in me. The dog is still in her like midday sleep while everybody's at work phase. And so we're gonna get through this.
We're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
Twitch did give like their entire company like 2 weeks off a month or so ago.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah. Like the whole thing. They're like, get the fuck off the internet.
Nice.
Everyone gets a week vacation, minimum.
Minimum, yes.
Meanwhile, our plant broke down and my company still wouldn't give me a paid day off.
Ooh.
Fucking bitches. Anyhow.
Watch out, they may replace you if you keep that talk up.
I'd love to see them try. They would be so fucked if I left.
Maybe with some Costa Ricans.
Yeah.
Yup. I mean, they're definitely that, but they're not ready to replace me with Costa Ricans yet. They need me to keep doing my job for about another year. If I left now, woohoo.
To train the Costa Ricans.
Yeah. Anyhow, enough of that. Let's get into, this is a board gaming podcast for those of you who are unaware. So we ostensibly do talk about board games. And so we're going to do that right now as we talk about what we've been playing. There wasn't a stream this past Friday because I had Megan's mom in town. Megan had Megan's mom in town. Megan's mom was in town.
That sounds much better.
Your future mother-in-law was in town?
My future mother-in-law was in town. And we went down camping at the Great Sand Dunes here in Colorado. Really awesome place. And we weren't sure when we'd get back on Friday. And so we decided not to stream in case I came back late. And like we talked about having you guys do a 2-player stream, but then you might be streaming like in the middle of me coming home and unpacking, and decided it was just better to pass.
Yep.
So no stream to talk about. That's normally what we start what we've been playing with. However, I took board games camping because I take board games fucking everywhere I go. So the first night we were there, Wednesday, we got there and it was raining. And then as we got to the actual campsite, there was a brief lull that we were able to get the tents up. And then we kind of hung out. We even got a fire going for a little bit, and then it started to rain pretty hard. Like we were like looking up at the sky, and it was like it's gonna rain, and it's like it feels like the drizzle is picking up. So we decided to move into the tent, and basically as soon as we were inside the tent, it was like just let loose. Like we barely made it. So we all crammed inside a big tent, and we played some now boarding. So Megan's mom has played before, but it had been a while, so we retaught her, and we played, and it went well. And we won a 3-player game. It was definitely the closest I felt in a long time to losing. We actually had one passenger that went and complained, which is like the mechanism for losing. If you have 3 passengers complain, then you lose. We had one that went and complained. We couldn't get to them in time. And yeah, for a little bit it looked tight. I didn't think there was any way we were going to pull it off. But we did. So
once again, it's such a weird game. It says I've never lost. And I feel like I've never seen anyone lose for that game, but it's just like we barely won.
Yeah.
And it's
really well balanced in that regard. The only times I've ever lost is when I play with the VIPs. Because some of those VIPs can just, if they come out at the wrong time, they will fuck you hard. We played that. We were talking about playing something else, and then we kind of just split up and went to bed because it was going to be like 9 o'clock, and Megan's mom had traveled all of Tuesday and was tired, and it was still just rainy and drizzly. Our tent was leaking a little bit, and so we called it. Then on Thursday, at one point in the afternoon, we had some downtime, and like our campsite kind of sucked. Even though we booked like a month in advance, most of them were booked up. And so we didn't have many options, and we chose one that we thought looked like it would have good shade. And then we got there and we could see the remains of 3 trees they'd cut down that were probably where most of that shade in the photos came from. So we had no shade at our campsite.
I'm assuming they just replaced them with a bunch of like magnifying glasses or something, right?
Basically,
just
yeah.
to really help.
To really start the fires.
Yeah, they put a bunch of parabolic mirrors just to make sure that there was always light blasting onto.
Yeah.
It gets cold at night, so they just want to make sure.
Exactly.
Turn the sand to glass.
Yeah.
So we bailed on our campsite. We packed all our cooler and all of our beer and the board games and the dog, and we drove to kind of near the main like entrance to the dunes, like the main parking lot for the dunes. There's some Poland campsites, or not campsites, but like picnic sites. And when we got there, it was like 11 o'clock. Like we'd gotten up, we'd done some hiking and we'd done some things. And it was getting towards the heat of the day. And so we went there. We were the first ones to find that area, like to go back in that area. We found a really good shady spot with a nice big tree and a picnic table. And so we had some lunch and then we sat around and played board games for a few hours during the heat of the day. And we taught Megan's mom Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. Which I am certain, as we were trying to teach her the rules, she had that look like, what the fuck have I gotten into? Why am I doing this? This is a mistake. And we just played really patient and took our time, really talking through what we were doing. Like even the initial thing, like, all right, here's the corporations I have to choose from here. Let me show you what my starting hand is. And here's kind of the things I'm looking for like synergies and like how I'm thinking about doing things. And then we really played slow for the multi-action things like, all right, we're going to do the development phase. So I'm going to develop this card. I'm paying this much money. I get these things going down the list and helping her kind of do hers. Did that for the first couple rounds. And then she proceeded to just stomp us. She got a great engine going and just like wrecked us. She won by like 15 points.
Oh, wow.
Against Megan and I.
And then she's like, oh, yeah, and I'm right-handed.
Yeah. It kind of felt that way. So she had just a really good heat and heat and plant engine going. Like one of the things she got out fairly early was a science card that had 5 science tag requirement, that every time you played a card, you got 2 heat and 2 plants.
Wow.
So on some turns, she was playing a development card and then a building card and then a second building card. And so she's playing 3 cards and getting 6 heat and 6 plants a turn.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And it was just like,
seems like you should have planned better against that happening, Adrian.
Exactly. Megan and I were talking about it later after when she wasn't there. It was like, yeah, that really reinforces that card game is heavily like dependent on card draws and stuff. And sometimes like there's not going to be anything you can do.
Get a good engine.
Because we both felt like we played well. Like we both had good engines of our own. It's just hers was objectively a better engine. And it came just from her having good cards. She took a very generic corporation. It was like you start with 50 credits and no other real ability other than like you had an action during the action phase that was reveal the top 3 cards of the deck and take an event that's revealed into your hand. So like every now and then she got a free event off the card. But the main thing for that card was starting with 50 credits. And so she was able to build up her good engine, like basically on the first turn.
Well, if life has taught us anything, it's that just being able to start with a shitload of money is a very much a good power to have.
Turns out arguably one of the best powers.
Yes.
If you start off your life with a bunch of money, then you can do a lot of things. After we play Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, we played Dokmus, and it was kind of the same thing. Like she had that glossed over look of like, I'm not really sure what's going on here. And even
this was the one you picked up in some weird board game shop in Europe or something?
In the UP of Michigan.
Okay.
Yep. We were back visiting Megan's family. Yeah. We were with her dad, but
that peninsula from Europe.
Yeah. Europe. The UP. Yeah, no, it all tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, there's heavily European cultural influences.
Europe is just the western peninsula of Asia, to be fair.
True. So originally I had Mike Jones had taught me Dokmus, and I really liked it, and I thought Megan would like it, and so when we were up there and I saw it, I bought it for her, and then we haven't really played it much. So we thought Dokmus would be a good camping game. It's basically just some big cardboard hexes and then some wooden triangles that you place pieces out. Like there's not really a lot of cards or anything. So we thought it'd be good for playing on a picnic table. And it was. it was it's not, it's not an exciting game to talk about.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I put some things here, and then on the next turn I put some more things, and then I did some more things, and then I got to move some things, and then I put some more things. But it's I like the game. I like the puzzle of trying to figure out how to manipulate the board and move things around, because you get points by trying to get adjacent to temples on each of the 9 or 8 squares, and you can manipulate those. You can slide them around and rotate them to try and move on at different sides and things and move across the board. Ultimately, Megan and I both went with a widespread strategy. Like there's one of the scoring conditions is basically like number of tiles that you have a piece next to at least one temple, and it's like, if you're on 1 tile you get 1 point, if you're 2 you get 3 or whatever, and it scales up to where we both got 6 tiles with at least 1 temple, which scored us like 27 points each. Melody went for the opposite. She went, instead of spreading wide, she went going deep, because you get 8 points for every tile that you are adjacent to all of the temples on that tile, and she got 24 points off of that. And then that put her adjacent to way more temples, which are also worth points. And so she ended up beating us there as well. So Megan's mom, Melody, board game shark, apparently. I see now where Megan gets it.
Yeah.
Not dumb ladies. So yeah, I came in second in both games, which was nice. I still got to
Megan
beat.
came third in both games.
Yeah.
That's surprising as well.
I still got to beat Megan, which was nice.
Yeah.
But Megan's mom crushed us both. So it was still fun. It was nice to kind of hang out and play some board games there at the Sand Dunes. It's a beautiful spot.
It is, yeah.
You could just see the dunes right over, like off to our left. But like I said, that was kind of the heat of the day. It's the bad time of year to go there, where it's still 80 degrees, 90 degrees during the day. And then the sun beating down on that sand gets real hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people tend to go around Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Because that's when the creek's flowing, and it's
there was no water in the creek.
Yeah.
When we were there, unfortunately. I'll talk more about the hike and some of the other things there during the banter break. But those were the games I played. So you guys, meanwhile, stayed here in Denver and went to game night. Jeff,
Yes.
What did you play?
I played a game called Matryoshka, which I can never spell. And autocorrect never
knows what you're trying to say.
Never knows.
You're never close enough.
Yeah.
That you're
Pretty sure it's Matroy.
Sure.
SHKA.
A.
Yeah, Matryoshka.
Well, anyway, we played Matryoshka because we were waiting on V to arrive so we could play Clank Legacy. Matryoshka is fun. We had 4 players, and so you. What's the max players on that?
5.
One? 5.
So we took 2 of the 10 sets out
for 4 players.
Yes.
And it's just sort of like a little, I don't know, auction game where you're like, hey, do you want this card? Because I want that card. But a lot of the times it runs into, I don't want that card, so here's a shit card because I don't care.
Yeah. Well, and as you get later into the game, you don't have any shit cards in your hand, and you're like, I hope that this is a shit card for you.
Yes.
Because it's all conditional on that stuff. And then every once in a while, someone will be like, you know what, I will take this. And you're like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. We were playing with Allison, and I feel she was getting a lot of very good cards that she decided not to take.
Yeah.
Like, we were handing her 7s. She just wasn't taking them. It's like, why are you not taking my 7?
Yeah.
Because she already had all the 7s. I think I ended 1 point from the leader. It was like 34-33 or something like that.
It was you or Wes. Yeah, Wes was the leader then.
Yes. And then the other people that also played the game.
Yeah. I got like a 27 and Allison got a 21, and then it was 34-35.
Yeah.
Because you never gave me that 3, which would have really helped me.
Did I give it to you at the end?
You did not. You threw it away.
Oh no!
Or you were going to throw it away, and then you ended up throwing it.
I threw it. Because I wanted that. It was like a 1 point difference for whatever cards were.
Yeah.
Wherever cards were.
No.
Yeah, I was originally going to throw it in the discard pile in your face.
Yeah, because I had the 1, 2, and then the 4, 5, 6, 7 of that.
Oh,
and so I
geez.
said on the 3, but I was collecting 3s the whole game.
Yeah.
And then that same suit. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was mine. Yeah, Matryoshka still continues to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever actually played it.
Yeah, it's a neat little quick.
Yep.
I want to. I've heard good things.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I like it when you're setting your tableau for showing people sort of what you want, that you can you reset it every 4 times throughout the game, so you can change your strategy if you just get a bunch of cards. But Wes had he had a bunch of one color, and then I had the key ones that he needed, and we kept putting them both out so we could never trade them
Because they were out in front of you.
because they were out in front of us.
Yeah.
But I kept on the last round I kept the 2 out, which I normally would have played down, but I didn't, so that I could trade him for something. But he didn't have anything good for me. Jeff had all the fucking cards that I wanted.
Yes.
So
Classic Jeff.
yep.
Mm-hmm. And then we played Clank Legacy, which was our 3rd game of Clank Legacy.
Yes, it was
We got to put a lot of stickers on the board.
a lot of stickers,
Yes.
and it was
almo-
definitely our quickest one too.
Yeah.
The cubes were not in our favor.
No. We ended 3 zeros, and Zach was the only one with points.
Yeah, so basically was the
Damn.
opposite of the first game.
Yes.
And I survived because I died 1 step up from the outer lands, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the 0 point line.
Yeah, I was just one up it, and then that's when I died.
But you had an artifact this time.
I had 2 artifacts that time.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You got the 2 artifacts.
because I found I stole a sword from somebody.
Yes.
Another player?
No,
No, it was an event.
an event came up, and it's like, do you want to steal the sword? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it gave me the option to go return it to them. I'm assuming for some good things, maybe a check mark or something. But I didn't have a chance to because I died.
Yeah.
But it meant that we unlocked some cool things. This thing and it got added to it. So
To the sword?
yeah, the sword got added to the stuff. So
Oh, I see.
yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't a card though, right? Was it a card?
It wasn't. It became one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a bunch of characters added into the deck that are
Yeah.
named and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I died 1 step away from the 0 point line.
Well, and you went fucking deep.
I went deep because it was the only one I could go to. Well, I went all the way to the corner to unlock that corner. I unlocked a lot of stuff, but you know what unlocking does? Doesn't get you points or anything, or really any advantage at all.
other than you just wanting to read story stuff.
Yeah. So I read a lot. And then I had about a 50-50 of getting my movement cards out of my deck for my shuffle, and I got 1
Yeah.
of the 5. And I was I needed 2. And I did not get 2. So I would have, everyone else had died before me. So I had to go 3 rounds of pulling cubes to survive again.
No, not just that too, but it was the turn before that, Wes had died, and then on your turn you had bought a card that caused us to draw from the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And then that caused V to die. And then I was like, oh no, this isn't good, because I was like, V, on your turn, don't fucking buy anything. We can get out of here. And then she died, which when you die in Clank, you then just start drawing from the bag, and she drew enough to kill me as well. And I was like, God damn it.
Yeah. And I needed 2 turns to get out.
And he was able to get 2 right underneath the line, and then he had to do 3 more turns, and V killed him on the first
Just
one.
immediately
I was like,
murdered me.
okay. But we were worried a bit about it being, because some of our games had gone 2.5 to 3 hours. This one did not. So this one was barely
it was mostly
2.
those intro ones where we were actually having to fill out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no. It never felt drawn out. It was just a lot of reading or a lot of adding things, stuff like that.
A lot of legacy mechanics happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was still a lot of fun. Curious to see where they're going to be going with it now.
Yeah.
But no, I remember that first game. I felt really shitty when I was just like, oh God, everyone's so far ahead of me now that I did, beginning points, everybody was able to do stuff and I didn't get anything. And so it was nice to
I don't
have
think any of us have even gotten our first
No,
mark, right? on our box?
The first promotion?
Yeah.
No. Wes would have gotten it had he survived.
Yes.
I am now. I just need one check mark to do it.
Yeah.
So we're getting close to it.
Right on.
That's all I played.
Zach, do you have anything else?
So I do have one thing from the Cabin Con that I didn't mention from last week.
Okay.
And it was at one point Kaiser, and, Mike Jones, and I played one of the exit games. It was the Gate Between Worlds one. And
This is one that doesn't have a literal puzzle in it.
no, it's
Okay.
no. It's not one of the bigger ones that has the actual jigsaw puzzles in it. No, but I would have to say this was probably
Dead
one.
Dove Don't Open.
Exactly.
What else did I expect? Of course, there's a puzzle in here.
Yeah. Yes. But this was probably one of the best ones that I've played of these. It was really good. There was a lot of cool, unique things happening for you to look out, and it was really having you think outside the box. And it just had a cool because they always have like a story of like how you're actually doing it, but this one is about like a portal or a gate. You have a gate that you go to different worlds, and it has a bunch of like cool little things you have to look at. And there was
Like most of the exit games.
yes,
Looking at things.
yeah, probably. I don't know. I always do them blind. It just really, it's really hard when you're moving the dial around because there's no buttons. So
Micro Macro has like a hard mode where you don't use any cards but the first one, and you're supposed to figure out the solution.
Like, does it give you does it tell you like what the end game thing should be?
I don't think so.
How
I think
would
you're
you-
just supposed to do it with like, I don't know, solve the crime.
Hey, there's a guy here. What happened with it? Oh, fuck, Jesus Christ. Okay. But yeah, no, it's definitely a good one. I would highly recommend that one if you're still interested in the exit games.
Well, they still keep making them.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And it's definitely gotten to the point now where I just need to throw my used boxes away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you need some way to record that you have played them, so you don't buy them again.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But that is. Oh, I did. Let's see. I did play Hanabi before you joined us for Matryoshka.
Yes.
And that one went well. It was 2-player. And I had a real. I was playing with Allison, and we got 24 out of 25 points.
Indeed.
Because there was a point where in her hand I only had one clue, like we were short on clues, and in her hand was in the discard spot was the 5, and then the one beyond it, the one right next to it, was the 4. So it was the green 5, and then it was the green 4, and we had already discarded the green 4 from a previous thing, and I had like one clue, and I was just like, if I tell her that that's the 5, she's going to discard the 4, rendering the 5 useless. And I was just like, I got to hope, like I discarded and I was like, I hope you just ask me a clue or like something that gets us out of this trap. And unfortunately she got rid of the 5, and I was like, yeah, I was like, I couldn't think of a way to not fucking do that. So, it was rough, but
Bummer.
yeah.
I like Hanabi.
Mm-hmm.
Never got played at the Cabin Con.
No, it did not. I don't know if anyone brought. I technically had it there, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's probably shuffling around in my car somewhere.
Yeah.
My sweet metal tin edition with the misprinted rules. The 2-player hand card count is off to make it like incredibly impossible.
Is it a 4 instead of 5 or something like that?
It's like
Yeah.
way less.
Yeah.
It's like you each have 3 cards.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That would be rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all that I've been playing.
Right on. Let's just move on into some banter. Before we do so, I'm going to plug this here in the middle of the episode while I'm A, thinking about it, and B, hopefully if people turn off like at the end when we talk about contact information and stuff and they miss this, we are currently in the planning stages, since Zach did just mention another game he played at Mile High Cabin Con, and last episode was heavily dedicated to Mile High Cabin Con. We are currently in the process of booking up Mile High Cabin Con 2 Spring Edition, because We might start doing this twice a year. It seems increasingly
or we'll do spring one year and summer the fall the following year.
The real problem, it would be a lot easier if we could do it 6 months apart, but how the seasons work here, it's you
and people's jobs. Oh, I mean, but anything around winter here is impossible and very expensive to be able to do anything like this in those areas.
So it's like it's May at the earliest, and then like August, early September at the latest. So that's only like 4 months difference. So
anyway, we're currently booking for two, which the dates are going to be May 18th through the 22nd. So it starts 4 p.m. on Wednesday, May 18th, and goes until the 22nd, which I believe is a Sunday.
Yes. We did Thursday to Sunday this time, and we were like, we could use an extra day, and so we just started it earlier.
Yep. So if you're interested in coming, if you're already in the Slack, go to the MHCC channel, and up at the top in the pinned notes, there's a spreadsheet where you can add your name and anybody else who's going to go, and you can select your options. Like right now, the main options are like, yes, I will definitely go. Maybe I will confirm by the 15th, which is when we're looking for hard confirmations, which is about a weekish.
Because we need to book May now.
Yeah, it is filling up fast. There's also options for I can't go in May, but I would like to go in August, or I can't go in May of this year, but I would be interested in going in May of next year. We are looking right now. We have 13 for sure going. We have 13 maybes, including a bunch of people who just went a couple weeks ago, and might be able to swing coming back as early as April. Depending if we can get up to 25 confirmed people, we will be getting 3 houses that are all like right adjacent to each other.
They're all in the same court.
Yeah, they're in the same little like court area up in Winter Park, Colorado. It's a beautiful area. It should be fantastic in
a little
May.
Cold in May.
It'll be brisk, but it shouldn't be too cold.
Yeah.
We might catch up it's not unheard of to catch a late May snowstorm.
Yeah.
So maybe you'll get to see some snow.
There will certainly still be snow there.
Yes, there should still be some snow there.
Yes.
Not a ton.
But up in the mountains there. There was still snow when we went. Little tiny splotches.
Little splotches here and there.
Yeah. Like up in the mountains.
Yeah, way up. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
there's gonna be snow up there.
Oh yeah, the peaks will be nice and white and look beautiful.
But the town will be
should be well clear of snow.
Brownish gray.
It'll be spring brown.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, if you're interested in coming, the best way to do that is to join the Slack. There's links in the show notes over on punchboardmedia.com. Just look for the latest episode, any of the episode show notes, or even you can go to our old defunct website that I haven't updated in a long time, milehighgameguys.com. It is still up. You can look at an old episode's show notes, and the Slack link should still be the same. If you don't want to join the Slack for some reason, you can send us an email.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
Let us know the names of you and anyone you would be bringing. We are keeping it 21 and up because we all heavily drink, and you must be vaccinated. Those are the 2 requirements. But if you want to bring a spouse or adult children, things of that nature, just send us an email with your name and the names of anybody else that you would want to be bringing. And like I said, whether you would, definitely attend, maybe would confirm by the 15th, which, like I said, is about a week away, so you don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
Or if you'd be interested in the August dates or in May of 2023.
Ooh.
But yeah, let us know. You could send us email. You can DM us on Twitter, and I can send you the link to either the Slack channel or the spreadsheet.
Sheet.
Yeah. And our Twitter, as we say at the end of every show, at MHGameGuys. So yeah, get a hold of us if you're interested in coming, even if it's just a casual interest, and we can give you more information, and we can start to build it up. And should be a good time. Everybody spoke very highly of it. As far as I know, I haven't heard anybody speak negatively of it, other than me, who didn't get to go. And was like, you stupid bastards.
That's what you get for being out of town that one weekend. when we were discussing on when we were going to do it.
Yes. Yeah, it just all happened so very fast.
Yeah.
Like this one is.
Yep.
Like this one is. This April one has come together very quickly.
May.
May, yeah. Spring one is coming together very quickly. So, yeah, Megan will probably be coming. It depends. It's right around her birthday. I think it'll probably end up being that she does a kayaking weekend the weekend before and then does a gaming weekend the following weekend, which just encapsulates her personality very well. One weekend of kayaking and then one weekend of board gaming.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, still a lot of maybes just because it is pretty far out. I don't remember when we were planning the first one when it actually happened.
Not like, I think it was closer than this is to May.
Oh, definitely.
But
Yeah.
not closer to when we're trying to lock this down. Like there was a lot more time to like kind of look and
Yeah.
but looking at these houses, finding these great houses, because that was one of the main complaints is the two houses were too far apart. These ones are all like
Yeah,
Jeff said
like,
in the
they
same
weren't-
cul-de-sac.
Like, as the crow flies,
About a
not
mile.
that
Yeah.
far, but where you would have to walk/drive was a mile. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas these are, like you said, in the same court.
Yeah.
So if we can get them, awesome.
Yes.
So there you go. There's some information in the middle of the episode where hopefully most people who listen to the episode will hear it. And if you want to come, we would love to have you. Come out to Colorado.
As long as you don't suck. But I mean, we still let Boyd come, so
Yeah.
it's flexible.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your Mile High Cabin Con update. I'm super looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to be there.
It was fun.
That's fun.
Now we'll have an extra day.
Who knows? Maybe I won't even have a job, so I can just really go all in. You know, we'll
Just
see.
let your beard grow out and look
I mean,
more
that's
homeless.
happening.
Yeah,
That's happening
I know.
regardless.
Yes.
Anyway, with that out of the way, let's move on into some bantery banters. So I don't have a ton. I went camping, but I'm not going to bore people too much with my camping escapades.
We
especially
mostly heard
'cause-
it during the board game section. So.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good chunk of it. One of the cooler things, so we did, like I said, do a dunes hike because you can't go to the sand dunes and not hike up into the dunes. We got up early Thursday, so it rained really heavy Wednesday night. And so we got up early and it was nice and cool and the sand was still wet. And so it was firm, which was actually really nice going up. Like it wasn't one of those, like you take a step and then slide 3/4 of a step back.
Yeah.
Like trying to go up some of those dunes.
My problem with when I went to the dunes was that it fluctuated between those two, and you never knew which one it was going to be until you stepped on it.
Yeah. Yup. So it was nice and firm for us. Jester loved it. She loves the dunes, the huge wide open spaces. She can just run around. Occasionally she'll find a crow out there on the dunes that will then fuck with her. Where to like wait for her to like run close to it, and then it'll fly just far enough away that she'll go to chase it some more, and then it'll just fly, and it just keeps leading her around until she gets bored and tired. But we hiked up to the top of the kind of the front range of the dunes, so you can see into the dune field to show Megan's mom that. And about that time, the sun was starting to get up, and so the sun was hitting that wet sand, and it was misting, and it was just really cool. The mist coming off the sand. We got some really cool photos, and then like as we were coming down, there were areas where like the ripples in the sand, like the high points had all dried out and looked like a lighter kind of almost white sandy color, but the valleys of it were still dark and wet, and so it made some really cool visual effects of the ripples across the sand and stuff like that.
So you were fucking ripped watching the sand, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Should have been at the fish show this weekend.
So the best. So we were hiking back down, and I do trash cleanup every time I go there because so many people leave trash in the dunes, and it makes me really angry. Like I cleaned a bunch of empty beer bottles, like somebody's camp stove that they just fucking left in the dunes. But the
it's probably because all the beer bottles.
Yeah, well, the beer bottles weren't even that close to the camp stove, but who knows? Because you can actually camp out on the dunes. Like Megan and I are tentatively planning a camping trip. We can't take Jester because you can't take the dogs camping on the dunes. They can walk out there, but for some reason they don't want them staying out like overnight. I think because like coyotes and foxes and other crepuscular animals. But if you go the right time of year, it doesn't get too cold, and so you can just hike out there with some sleeping bags and sleep out on the dunes under the open sky and see the stars. And it's a dark sky protected zone, so there's like very little light, human light, so you can really see the stars really well.
Yeah.
So I think somebody must have done that because you can take a camp stove to make like dinner out on the dunes, And then they were just like, this is a mostly empty fucking camp fuel thing. Like, it wasn't even fully empty. Like, it's like, all right, well, this fits our thing. So now we got like a meal's worth of camp fuel for free.
Okay.
But the best thing I found, and speaking of being ripped out on the dunes, is I found a fucking didgeridoo.
What?
I found a really nice didgeridoo that somebody had just left out there. So I imagine that they went out there, did a bunch of fucking shrooms, played their didgeridoo into the night, and then eventually just wandered off and left the didgeridoo.
Well, all right then.
So I've got a nice didgeridoo now.
Interesting.
Very artistically done. It looks very good. I was looking up didgeridoos online because I was like, I feel like this is like a didgeridoo. And I looked them up and I was like, oh, yeah, this is definitely a didgeridoo. And nice.
You're saying the word
not cheap.
didgeridoo a lot.
I know.
And I'm going to need you to stop.
So yeah, so now I've got one of those instruments that that are infamously associated with Australia. It's really hard not to keep saying didgeridoo.
Yes, please.
So that was my reward for
Cleaning up.
For cleaning up, as I found one.
Yeah.
It's got a turtle on it and a rabbit, maybe? I don't know. It's
Okay.
got two animals.
Spirit animals.
Yeah. I have not tried playing it yet because I have not thoroughly sanitized it after it was sitting out on the dunes.
Yeah,
I'm not going to put my mouth on it.
You're gonna get a contact high is what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get fucking ripped. Yeah. Drive back sucked because it was, Friday of Memorial Day week or not of Labor Day weekend.
Mhm.
At least most of the traffic was going the other way.
Yeah.
But we still hit major, like, because it told us straight up, like, it was an hour quicker to go through the mountains on the 2-lane roads where we were still getting stuck behind long lines of cars and things. Megan,
Than I-25 or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
neither Megan or Megan's mom appreciate my willingness to pass people on highways and passing zones with oncoming traffic.
Mhm.
It's like, I had plenty of space. I'm going to go for it.
Yeah. Worst thing
Send it.
Worst thing will happen is you'll crash off, and then you'll get your hands will get fucked up, and then you get Doctor Strange powers. So
Maybe,
Yeah, I heard that happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's not like Doctor Strange was, fucking super person basically before that
Yeah.
accident. But anywho, that's it for me. For Banter.
Lamborghini? Was it a Lamborghini?
It was some kind of sports car.
Supercar.
yeah, sounds right.
Anyhow,
Anyway.
any banter for you guys? Anything exciting? Fun stuff going on?
Not really.
Saw a movie.
Yeah, we did.
We all went and saw and are about to see again when we're done recording.
Well, Jeff's not coming.
Jeff's not coming. But Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yeah, it was real good.
It was so good.
It was very good.
I was not. I was anticipating it being good, but I was not prepared for how good it was.
I had a very low level of anticipation because I did not know what to expect. So I went in with little to no expectations.
So the trailers looked like it was going to be visually very good. Like the fight scenes looked good. I am not really a fan of martial arts movies or like I don't know how to actually pronounce the word. Wuxia?
Wuxia?
Oh, WUXIA.
Yeah, I think it's wuxia.
Wuxia, yeah.
I'm not really a fan of like I've never
or it's just whatever that saying is from Seinfeld.
But like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
I've
that
never,
style.
I never even watched that.
It's the martial arts movies that have a little bit more of a fantastical element to them.
Yes, people leaping and flying through the air as they sword fight.
Laser swords, some would say.
So that aspect of it didn't super appeal to me. But it looked like just some of the fight scenes they had shown in the trailers looked like they were pretty awesome. And so I was expecting the choreography to be good. And
when I'm hanging off the side of a building on a snapping bamboo scaffolding,
I'm not standing still.
No.
I'm sliding down it like a fireball.
I am cursing way more.
Oh, also, yes.
I was like, there needs to be way more fucks happening right there, because that's all that would be coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
fuck.
I just gotta assume that they just like that meta knowledge comes in. They're like, oh, this is a PG-13 movie. I can only use fuck once in a non-sexual context.
Was there a single fuck in it?
No.
Okay.
Marvel movies, I don't think have used fuck at all,
probably
as far
not.
as I'm aware.
Yeah. Because it is a Disney movie.
I also would have definitely, like I said, been sliding down it like a fireball, like trying to get somewhere. At least, at some point you couldn't because it did bend.
Yeah, breaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, there would have been way more cursing than what she was cursing. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's a classy lady.
Took me
And
totally
you're
out.
not, Jeff.
Took me totally out of the movie. There was
Yeah.
There wasn't enough cursing. But yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
I really liked what they did with a lot of the character arcs, even some of the like the side characters. Somebody pointed out, I saw in an article that they really liked the Shang-Chi Sean's character, like was kind of a normal guy in San Francisco, and they're like, I want to see a movie of just like him and Ant-Man's guy.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what that character is.
Scott
Lang.
Yeah.
Of like just him and Scott Lang, just like
Hanging
regular Joe adventures
Yeah.
in San Francisco.
Yeah.
They don't even know that they're superheroes.
No.
More coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
Yeah. My expectations were my zero expectations were greatly exceeded.
Yeah. And I definitely would say one of the best villain performances too.
I actually like gave a shit about what was happening with the villain.
Yep.
yeah, and for being another case of a Marvel origin movie where the bad guy is the good guy but bad, like good guy powers but bad,
It made sense completely.
it worked
Yeah.
really well. It worked a lot better than it has on some
Yes.
of their other ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also get why that's such a trope.
Yes.
like, and it works well in a lot of other ones. I
It's
thought it worked
because
well in Black Panther too.
the setup for it and the build up and the reason for it being that made a lot more sense here versus some of the other ones.
Yeah,
So
like looking at you, Iron Man,
yeah.
What was his name?
the bad guys.
Yeah,
I
in
can't-
the first Iron Man. What was?
Oh, I
what was
definitely
his-
don't remember.
Obadiah Stane?
Obadiah. I was thinking Jebediah, but
No.
that's The Simpsons.
Yeah, Obadiah.
Obadiah Stane, yeah.
Warmonger, Ironmonger.
Ironmonger. Yeah.
Ironmonger.
I think so.
Killmonger was Black Panther.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we've already had two Mongers
Yeah.
in the
Mhm.
MCU.
And then you had Whiplash, which was sort of the same thing, and then like fucking Yellow Jacket and
yeah, I forgot Yellow Jacket.
Abomination.
Nobody
yeah.
talks about that.
No.
Till
Not right
now.
Till now. It's gonna be coming up in some new stuff.
That was
shit, so
the Abomination in the movie.
Oh, in the fight scene?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is from
that's
the Incredible Hulk movie.
Yeah.
It was in the trailer.
yeah, it was in the
Oh.
trailer.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't connect that was
Yeah,
the Abomination
they tweaked how he looked to make him look more like the comic.
Yeah,
I guess.
less like the worst Marvel movie and more like something they would put into the newest one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if it's still going to be.
Tim Roth.
I wonder if he doesn't change back or something though. Now,
I don't know.
yeah.
did he change back and forth in that one? In the,
I can't
in
remember.
Hulk?
And Hulk, yes.
Okay, he went back and forth.
At least once or did he?
Yeah,
No,
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did. You're right.
I think he got badly wounded, and then they gave him more of the juice,
yeah.
and then he turned into that.
Yeah, you're right.
I really like who he was fighting, which I don't remember being very clear in the trailer.
It was not very clear, but a lot of people were like, was that him? And then yeah. So
So
we can really keep it vague, but
yeah, I like how
I liked the
that
Fight
character-
Club in general.
Yes.
It was all of these weird. It was like sumo versus like karate guy.
Well,
and he's just smashing him up against the glass
Yeah.
over and over.
well, and there were at least a couple like Easter eggs from like previous movies of like side not the villains as much as like they're just henchmen that were just in there. I was like, oh, there's one from Iron Man 3. Oh, I think that's a Black Widow sort of thing. Yeah.
I'll have to look for that a little bit more because I don't
Yeah.
think I noticed some of that.
There was at least one extremist person in there.
Yes,
yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah.
That's where they have the glowy bones.
From Iron Man 3.
Yeah. The guy who fought Abomination, that connection to this movie makes a lot of sense. Like that's going to clearly be a big part of Phase 4. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the first one that's like, yes, we are moving on with the story of things now.
Yeah, and I'm real interested to see where this is going to go. And I have a feeling that it's tying a little, at least somewhat, with the Eternals, the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that post credit scene. Definitely.
What was there 3 fucking Marvel trailers before this movie? Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, Eternals.
I think it was just 2.
It was
Just 2? Okay. Well, it felt like way more.
Yeah.
Liked the new Eternals trailer they showed before.
Yeah.
This one
Even
has a
though
little more story to it.
Yes.
Even though I'm rapidly approaching my cutoff point where it's like I don't want any more trailers because I don't want to know
if they
any more of
release
the story.
This is probably
another
the
one,
last
yeah.
trailer, I would suspect.
Yeah. And I also Spider-Man 1. I don't think I want to see another one after that.
Same. I'm good on Spider-Man trailers.
But fuck, if they have another one, it's gonna be real hard not to watch it because I'm like, I just want more.
I know. I'm really curious because there's been a lot of rumors with Spider-Man about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield being in it. I don't know if they actually were or not, and
Well, you'll just have to wait and see.
I can't wait to see and find out.
Whenever it comes out. November?
December.
Yeah,
Right around Christmas.
Megan was like, "Didn't they just do a Spider-Verse one?" And I was like, "That's the animated one." She's like, "Oh, so."
I mean, Far From Home was also the last one released before Black Widow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just been that long.
yeah,
And they pushed back Venom 2
Yep.
next year.
Let There Be Carnage. Yeah. Still haven't seen the first one, so
It was fine.
yeah.
It was fine.
yeah.
I like Tom Hardy, but it's not his best
That's
role.
Well, he's the only thing that made that movie decent. So.
Yeah, he redeemed it to it's okay.
Yeah.
And you know they're still making that Jared Leto Mobius one? Morbius, yeah.
Yes.
About him being like a vampire.
It's a Spider-Man villain, Morbius.
Yeah.
He's like a hand vampire. He sucks blood through his hands.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this character or that they were doing a Jared Leto.
Oh, you can watch the trailer on it, and you're like, really?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well,
Everything points to that being trash.
Yeah.
that's been your movie update. I think we should move on from just rambling about movies.
Yeah.
On this board gaming podcast.
Yeah, that's fine. It was banter. It's okay. I started watching Mythic Quest on Apple TV, and I've been enjoying that. Most of it's been all right so far, but and you know, I'm not going to be the first person to say this. The 5th episode is like a self-contained story that really isn't relevant to the rest of the show, and it was fucking amazing. So it's
Neat.
It's been enjoyable on that one. So
I've caught up on Ted Lasso.
that's what I'll be doing after I finish this one.
Megan and I are working our way through Schitt's Creek, way late.
First time.
Love it.
It's good.
And then we have now. I still haven't watched any of the What Ifs. I have not.
You haven't watched any of them?
I haven't
yet?
watched any of them.
What the hell?
I mean, I only have my Xbox set up. Like,
Well, you can watch it on your phone, man.
no, it's so unpleasant. I still need to watch,
And that's why Quibi failed.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, because you can turn it to the side and then it's fine.
New season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I watched the first couple episodes of that. I haven't watched the other ones yet.
And
I've
then
never
What We Do in
watched.
the Shadows has, I think, 2
Yes,
episodes out.
I've also never watched
I watched the
anything.
first episode of that was real good.
So, yeah, I heard it. It just picked up pretty much right where I left
Yeah.
off.
You should watch that. It's
Yeah.
funny.
You, I think, would really like.
Hey, have you seen the movie?
No.
First you need to watch the movie,
Yeah.
and then you need to watch the show.
I played a bunch of No Man's Sky,
Oh,
like 4-ish hours of it.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting back into No Man's Sky.
It's very, I don't know, time flies.
Yes, it does.
But it also feels like you're not doing much.
Also true.
You kind of go between planets and
It's really annoying when you start over and like you don't have the upgraded lasers and like all the inventory space, and you're like, oh god.
yeah, I need to
forgot how
find
much the beginning
out how to
sucks.
expand my inventory.
Space stations.
Yeah, I need to find that station that does that. Is it nanites for that?
No, I don't think so.
I found a new gun, and then I forgot that when you trade in, you also trade in all of your upgrades. You'd take the upgrades out and then trade it in.
Yep.
And I didn't do
Rookie
that.
move right there.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck, I have to fucking do this now again. Guess I'm looking for seals or whatever. The
Hermetic seals.
hermetic seals again.
Yep. Carbon nanotubes.
Yeah. Well, that's easy. That's just carbon. But
I
I found a weird planet,
Oh yeah.
like a calcified planet.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one before.
There's no life on it. It's all these super weird, like imagine Starro from the Suicide Squad, but like more round, and they sort of just roll, and they have this weird glowy bit in the center. It was weird.
Huh.
Yeah,
Weird.
there
I don't
wasn't.
think I've seen that.
Yeah, calcified planet.
Okay.
I was like, what the fuck? It was in my starter system, so
Oh,
Gotcha.
cool.
I still haven't played that, so
yeah,
I
it's,
like.
it's a sort of, I don't know, get materials, make things fly.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more you can
Yeah.
get. You can get like a freighter fleet,
Oh,
trade
yeah.
fleets and
well,
stuff.
I've heard that since they actually like stuck with the game, they've actually made it
I think it's
It's
5
good.
years
Yeah.
today or 5 years
something
this
like that,
weekend.
That they
Yeah.
actually made it good.
Yeah, it's definitely better. It's still one of those very broad, but still, it's deeper than it was. It was like an inch deep. Now it's like a foot deep, you know.
It is significantly deeper now.
But
Their reviews have hit finally 70%
there you go.
because they were deep,
Oh, yeah.
dark nightmare red for many, many years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for them on that. Like, I mean, I do and I don't. Like, they definitely misled the state of the game at the start a little bit, I think.
Oh,
but
almost
they have at least-
entirely.
They have at least super stuck with it and actually started to live up
The
to some
game
of
is-
the promises.
And it's all been like free updates, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
there is no paid anything. I think you can buy the soundtrack or something like
Yeah.
that.
Gotcha.
Maybe some JPEGs
Yeah.
for your
backgrounds.
backgrounds. Yes,
I've,
wallpaper
wallpapers.
was
That's
yes.
this. Yes, that
what
is
I was
the better
thinking
one.
of.
I've also been thinking about getting back into Elite Dangerous,
Oh.
but then I know immediately. that
Whenever
I'll
you
get
do
bored.
that, whenever you get a VR, because I know you eventually
Yes.
you should
for
try
both
that one.
Elite Dangerous and
Yeah.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Yes.
But probably have to wait until video cards are reasonable again.
Yep.
Because
So you
this
got a
ca-
couple years for that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got like about 2, I
Yeah.
think. What's going to suck is they're still going to release the new one next year.
Yep.
And it's still going to be impossible to find.
Yep.
And it's just going to be
Damn
impossible and impossible and impossible. It's
Yep.
just going to keep being impossible.
It's really fucking annoying.
Very fucking annoying.
The video card I have in this PC that I built in 2019 for the streaming is now over double the price if I wanted to buy.
From when you originally
I
bought
originally
it.
Yeah.
bought it.
What which one do you have in there?
I think I have like
1770,
something 1660, I think.
16. Okay, yeah, and that's not really good
No,
VR material.
no, it's not.
No.
And it's by far the best one we have in this house. And it's up here, not down there where we'd want to be doing VR.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Does all right for what I mostly play.
Yeah. I
But
got a
you're-
new monitor and my old graphics card can't do 1440, so I still have to run at
Ooh.
1080
That's rough.
to get 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm
It's just a bigger 1080. It's a
Yeah.
32-inch 1080.
I'm so glad I got the 2070 Super when I did, because
Yeah.
I would have I would have been like, oh, you know what, maybe I should hold off, and then I just never would have fucking gotten one.
Nope.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Megan wants a new PC. I want to build. Well, I don't want to build a new PC. I want to build a legit dedicated podcast PC. That's the podcast. Then I can take my gaming PC and upgrade it, and then move it down and actually play games on it down there instead of having it do both.
Uh
But
huh.
that's gonna be a while because fucking video cards.
Yes. All computer materials, really.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everything else was pretty well.
Processors are still bad.
I was able to still find, so like for Megan, I'm building basically a clone of this PC or trying to. And granted, I'm building it 2 years later and the prices are the same.
Yeah.
But so things haven't gotten cheaper. But I didn't notice the processors being noticeably
Are you going AMD
higher.
or are you still doing Intel?
I'm still probably doing Intel.
AMD processors are very hard to find
Yeah, well,
That's
because
about
they are the popular ones.
Yes, they are.
I'm fine with Intel. Anyhow, enough of that too. Let's
Enough of all this silliness.
let's wrap banter.
I'll just say I started for Horizon Zero Dawn again, and it's still good. It's because they did a 60 FPS bump on it. So
PS5 patch.
yeah,
I need to play Ghost of Tsushima. They
Yes,
just
you
came
do.
out with the PS5
upgrade.
version.
Oh, yeah, the upgrade for it, and then also the
There was an
expansion.
upgrade for it, and
I
now
mean,
that
there was
there's
an
like
but there was an upgrade, but then a paid upgrade.
yes, now there's a big upgrade.
Yeah.
with
Before
more
it was
content.
just 60 FPS. Now it's like
RTX.
it's
and
RTX, and then the smart
haptic feedback.
haptic feedback for the controllers, and then also updating the lip syncing so if you choose Japanese as the language, they will actually be mouthing Japanese.
mostly mouthing Japanese.
Yes,
I
a
heard.
lot.
It wasn't a lot better than it used to be mouthing.
Yes, that one took me about 3 sentences being said before I switched back to English. And then the expansion, and then the
island
expansion.
expansion.
So yeah.
So yeah, now I'll play Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. Do you have it?
Yeah.
Or
Mhm.
okay. All right.
I think I got it for like $30-40 on some
Nice.
sale,
Yeah.
like last Christmas or something.
That seems right.
and then never played it.
Yeah. Are you still looking to get a PS5 at all, or have you just?
No, I'm still looking.
Okay.
Good fucking luck.
I mean, are you like?
I'm not super actively looking.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like if somebody like it's kind of the same way I got my Xbox. Like Jeff happened to be like, "Hey, you were looking for an Xbox. Here's a link to some that are dropping like now," and I was able to jump in and get one.
I think it was GameStop.
Yep.
Yeah,
it
that
sure
seems
was.
about right. That's where I got my PS5. So.
Who are now doing only pre-orders for new consoles for Pro members, which is their like $15 a year subscription.
Right.
That came with the like Game Informer subscription. Yeah. So now you can only pre-order if you are part of the Pro membership.
That makes more sense now. Okay. I mean, for me, what I was able to get was just follow a bot on Twitter that you just say like it tells you when notifications when things are coming out. So
yeah, I need to track some of those down.
And just know at any time, 3 o'clock in the morning, you get the notification, wake up, gotta go buy it real quick, and then
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No, but it took me like a couple weeks of doing that, and I was able to get one. So,
is it news now? It's
News,
time for times.
yeah.
news
Yeah.
and
Adrian,
Kickstarters.
stop distracting us with stuff. We need to focus back on
Yeah,
to the
me,
podcast.
me.
Yes.
First up in news.
First up in news.
We haven't really talked about this,
No.
but it has been, around the broken token thing. The CEO is stepping down, but his last act in stepping down is firing over half the workforce.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, now you're all mostly fired.
Yep. So the whole story with the Broken Token CEO and his emotional sexual abuse allegations, improper workplace relationships, all of that broke like a week before we did the one podcast, and then it was the podcast where we had a shit ton of games.
August 18th is
Yeah.
when this all started.
And we just didn't even do news and Kickstarter, I don't think, that week.
No.
And then when we came back, we were like, well, do we want to talk about this after 2 weeks? And it's like, I think it's been talked about enough. But then in between last week's recording and this week's recording came the announcement that he was stepping down. His second apology letter.
Well, his first apology letter was
garbage.
Garbage.
Was real shit.
And any future allegations that will also probably be coming, I will defend. And they're like, what? You what? That's...
All of my relationships with employees have been fully consensual. It's like, you're the CEO. That's not exactly how that works. So then the new statement, he announces he's stepping down.
Does it say that he's still going to be part of the company, or
he is not leaving the company from what this sounds like.
Okay, all right.
And Kelsey Royer is taking over operations, and he's still going to be supporting her as she handles the day-to-day operations. And then he did, again, the wording of the letter, they lost a shit ton of contracts. A bunch of people dropped them real hard, real fast. So I'm certain that the loss of income there affected the okay, well, we have to lay people off. We don't have, we lost a bunch of our contracts. But the way he dropped that in there had a very much you people made me do this. This is your fault, not me and my actions.
Yeah.
He still seems to not really have any kind of remorse or acknowledgement that what he did was wrong.
No.
No. It's too bad. Broken Token was a cool company. I liked their gear. And
the financial fallout forced him to lay off 13 of the small business's 23 employees.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, but they're still going to get health insurance through the end of the month.
Which I will give them credit. That's,
something.
It's probably
because the month's already paid out.
It's almost certainly. Almost certainly. Yeah. So I don't know. The whole thing's pretty shitty. I'll miss Broken Token's gear, but I'm sure somebody else will make just as good. If not,
there's many ones that are already that have been filling it half a dozen already of either wooden, just like Broken Token, or even the folded space inserts and stuff like that.
I really don't like the foam core sword.
I did folded space for the West Kingdom games. They were pretty good, especially for Viscounts.
Yeah.
It was good for Terraforming Mars one that I bought, and then I got the big box expansion, so I was like, well, that's useless now.
I think for wood, Daedalus makes really good wood. inserts. I'm not sure where they're
Meeple,
at price point wise.
Realty.
Yeah, Daedalus, Meeple Realty,
But Meeple Realty has been moving like factories recently, so they have like nothing in stock.
Was it Geo7 Gaming is another one. And then there's one or two more that I can't think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, a couple I saw were like European.
Yeah.
Not all of them are just, North America.
Yeah. So, really, I just need to, talk Paul into getting whatever he needs to get in his little wood shop to start.
A laser cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And start laser cutting board game inserts.
Yeah. Or whatever the hell he's going to do with all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cutting boards, I think, were one of the things he was talking about doing. So I'd buy a cutting board off.
Cutting
Paul.
boards
I
that
could
are
use a
just
good new
slightly off because of the
Shims.
It's a deep cut.
pro move, everybody. If you buy something and it comes with shims,
Do not just throw them over your shoulder into the distance.
haphazardly.
There's usually a reason that things come with shims.
Yeah.
Usually. But anyway, enough with the broken token stuff. There will be other companies filling their niche just fine.
Yeah.
And hopefully the workers can find other jobs
Yes.
doing similar things and maybe making more money. I don't know.
Maybe.
Moving on in news.
Next up in news, Queen's Gambit is getting a board game based off the popular book/Netflix series.
Indeed.
But it's not just chess.
It's not.
It's a chess strategy themed board game.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is chess for dummies, but still not even really because you don't actually play with chess pieces. So there's a chess board that has tokens representing the chess pieces spread out across it. And then your player pawn is like a queen piece. And you'd choose and play 3 cards that tell you program how your queen will move to try and capture pieces across the board. And you're just racing to capture the most, I think. And yeah, the laying them cards down is supposed to simulate how the character could see 3 moves ahead and visualize chess movements. And I don't know. This seems like a reach for a game idea. I want to be like Elizabeth Harmon. I'm going to play this chessboard game instead of just playing chess.
Yeah. Apparently the same publisher has done a Black Mirror, Top Gun, and Shining board games.
Yeah. Mix Lore is the publisher.
Yes.
So,
I vaguely remember all of those being
meh to not good.
yes.
It's going to be 20 minutes, 2 to 4 players, because that's also 4-player chess. That's a thing.
Or 4-player strategy visualization board game chess.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's also supposed to play in 15 minutes. So
We'll see.
yeah.
Or not.
Or not. I probably won't. I'll if I ever hear about it, there's somebody who's played it, then I will talk about it. But I have no interest in playing this.
Yeah.
So there you go. Queen's Gambit board game, though, if you're just dying to dive more into that world, but not actually learn to play chess. Next up on news.
The very famous and very well-known B-twixt series gets a Game of Thrones. And that's very sarcasm because no one knows what the fuck the B-twixt is in this article.
Yeah. So we legitimately cannot tell if this is a new line of games that's being launched and the first one is just Game of Thrones themed or what. But it definitely looks like it's supposed to be a Game of Thrones themed version of B-twixt. But we could find no reference to any other versions of B-twixt existing anywhere. Basically, in this game, you are bidding on cards. You have some action cards that give you some different abilities and things. Each round, a card will come out, an ally card. All of the players will bid on it. They will play cards with different values, and that represents their increasing bids, and the cards can have special abilities and actions. And ultimately, when you win an ally, after everyone has passed, whoever has the highest points bid wins the ally. You then place the ally in one of your councils. So you're trying to have at the end of the game, the winner is the person with the largest small council. The small council being whichever of your 2 councils is the smallest point value. So it's very much like between 2 castles. You're working with the player to your left and the player to your right and managing a council that's between you 2. And you want both of yours to be high so that your lowest of your 2 is the highest in the game.
Sounds like Between Two Castles.
It very much is.
But with
but with
cards,
cards.
instead of
There's also some tokens that somehow get played in power tokens. The kind of catch with the power tokens is you select them face down and then you put them in your council face down, and so you don't know until the end of the game when you flip them over what their actual value is, and it can be like, I don't know, 1 to 3 or something, I think. I don't know if they actually specifically say what the range is on those in this article, but
I was even trying to figure out if betwixt was some reference to like the books.
Yeah.
And they use that term for something.
Nope.
But this is just the Game of Thrones : betwixt.
Yep.
And it's weird.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's got to be that they're planning for it somewhere in the
It's
future.
a reference.
Like,
Well, just what everyone wants. More Game of Thrones, because everyone...
I feel like the
this game's
the
like
interest-
5 years too old.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're also turning back the dial from show back to like original artwork real hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're very not looking like the characters from the TV show in this.
No.
They're like, we have to eject that entire side of our artwork now.
But yeah, I gotta assume that they're going, because is the Game of Thrones living card game a thing anymore? I feel like it's
not
not,
that I'm
don't
aware
know.
of.
but I'm sure they're going off of that art.
Yeah.
I don't know on that. Yeah, so the tokens can be between 1 and 3. So, but you don't know what it is until the end of the game when you reveal them. And they're like, oh, well, all of these were 1s and none of them were 2s or 3s. So I'm much lower than I thought I might be in my power.
That sucks to suck.
Sucks to suck. But it's available now. $30 on the Fantasy Flight web store. If you want to jump in on that.
No. I'm trying to figure out when the last Game of Thrones cycle pack. Yes, chapter pack came out. I think 2019. 2 years. 2 years done. I think.
Not that long ago, considering there was a pandemic that threw a lot of things out of whack. But who knows? Also, enough time for everybody to have really soured on the entire show.
The entire everything Game of Thrones. Really.
Yeah.
It's amazing how them just fucking ruining that last season just ruined everything.
It's like burned it all down.
Hope it was worth it. Last up in news.
There's a beer for Catan now.
Indeed.
I guess there has been in the past, but this is officially licensed Catan beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alcoholic and non-alcoholic.
Yep. So, people have been doing Catan beers for a long time. It's been one of the more pop culture-y games that's like, crept into the mainstream a little bit of everyday people. And beer nerds are still nerds, and so tend to also like nerdy things. That's why our game nights at breweries work so well. But Catan Studios has partnered with Champion Brewing, who I am not familiar with, to produce the Champion Catan Collection, which is a series of beers based around the different terrain types in a game of Catan. So there's a wheat beer coming out for the wheat fields. There is the sheep pastures are going to be a rye. The mountains are represented by a German Schwarzbier. The forest is represented by an IPA. The hills are receiving an alt beer. And there is one last spot that has not been announced yet. It could be either the single desert spot or ocean tiles. We're not sure.
I'm going to assume that the it'll be the desert one, and it'll be like a super hot bomb because it'll just immediately dry out your throat. Yep.
Yeah. If you want to get a hold of it, you have to sign up for a club membership and wait for the cans to be delivered to you. That's something you can do through Champion Brewing. They also throw in some of their own signature beers, and they invite you to monthly tastings in their tap rooms, which they have 7 of them scattered across the U.S. But it's $50 a month for the membership, so you have to really love Catan and really just want some Catan-themed beers.
I wonder how many you get.
Yeah. Also, no international option.
You get 24 beers for $50 shipped to you, so that's not like terrible.
24 beers a month?
Yes, $50 a month gets you 24 beers, gets you 1 case of each.
Okay.
So that's not, and with shipping, That's actually not terrible.
No, it's not.
It's $2 a beer with ship. Well, I don't know if that includes shipping. That's the real question.
I would assume it would. Most service things like that membership services that I have that ship me things, I don't have to pay additional shipping for. So, but yeah, there you go. If you want to get drunk off Catan beer while you play Catan, $50 a month, Champion Brewing. Go check it out.
That's it for news.
Indeed.
Now we're on to the Kickstarters. First up in Kickstarter, we have Mint Mini, which is the 7th in the series, 6th in the series.
8th?
A lot.
Something like that, yeah.
Funded about 24,000 of its $10,000 goal, 661 backers, 3 weeks left to pledge this one, which you can for just $10 or a lot more than $10 if you want like a lunchbox to hold them all in.
Yeah. So I guess it's the 6th game in the Mint series. It has 8 mini games in it. So Mint Mini is all about mini games of dice drafting based off of the other Mint series games. So like there is a Mint Works dice drafting version in Mint Mini, or a Mint Control or Mint Delivery, Mint Cooperative, things like that. So it's a bunch of different little mini games. They don't really go into how you play any or all of them that I saw on here. Yeah, they got a video of all the that's for promos. So I don't know, bunch of little mini games. The coolest thing I think is definitely the little lunchbox that has slots for all of the other games if you don't have them.
Yeah.
Or if you do, you can get just the box. But
Mint Works, Mint Control, Delivery, Bid, Cooperative, and Mini.
Indeed.
I think there's also like play mats you can get for a lot of these, which make them very not mini anymore.
Yeah, so they have a bunch of add-ons, so you can add on any of those other games that you might want. If you want to add on Mintworks or Mint, Cooperative or any of those you may have missed on some of their older Kickstarters, you can get those. You can also add on, like Jeff said, play mats for most of them. I don't see which
all of them
missing.
Except Bid.
Yeah, Mint Bid does not have a playmat. Mintworks, Mint Delivery, Mint Cooperative, Mint Control, and Mint Mini all have.
So if you want to spend an extra $100 on playmats, they will let you do that.
Yeah, all kinds of little add-ons. You can add on promo cards for all of the different ones. Like there's $9 worth of Mintworks promo cards you can get.
There's about $9 for every single one of the games worth of promo cards you can get.
You're right. They are all 9.
Yes.
So yeah, and I don't think, is there a get fucking everything pledge?
Yes, there absolutely is. Cause it's, $100, all tins, all promos, but no lunchbox, I think.
Yeah, that one does not have the lunchbox. There is for $80, all of the core games plus the lunchbox.
But not the promos. I don't know if I like any of the other Mint games enough to...
I have not played them. I liked Mintworks. It's fine, but it's also not... There's not a lot there.
Yeah.
I always think I'll play it when I travel, like throw it in like my carry-on luggage on an airplane thing, Megan and I will play it in an airport, and then we never do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the out of all of them, only the first one had any interest to me, and it also, like, there are other smaller games I'd play at that point, so had the novelty of it. But then anything past that, I was like, meh. Yeah,
there you go. If you're interested, you can check it out. Mint Mini.
Next up is Green Hell, which is a board game representation of a video game.
Indeed.
Funded $88,000 of its $52,000 goal, 793 backers, 1 week left to go. Its most popular pledge being $73.
Yeah. So this is coming from Galactus Games. It is 1 to 4 players and 35 hours worth of campaign. It is a cooperative campaign, not legacy game. It takes about 60 minutes, 60 over 60. It's just 60 plus minutes per session. You play, basically, there's a bunch of map cards that you build out a map where you move around and you explore and you collect resources and you build and craft. And you've got, like, the resources are polyominoes that you have to stack Diablo style in your limited space inventory. It's got a fucking full-on dice tower for some reason because you need those. Recessed player boards where you track your health and hunger and food and water and all those because it's a survival game. The PC game is, and this is...
It is a very hardcore survival game. Like, you get a scratch and you have to, like, bandage it. Or if a spider attacks you, which they do, like, you have to get poison stuff or anti-venom, or there's a lot of ayahuasca getting drank. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and the game is still early access, so the game's not even out yet on the computer, but it's kind of like one of those will be in early access for eternity. I think
so.
Yeah.
I like so many early access games that I've gotten are still in early access and have been in early access for like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Like 7 Days to Die finally came out of early access. It's like one of the only ones I've ever known to actually finally be like full release.
You're welcome for me helping kickstart that.
I'm really glad you did. Thank you, because that's one of my favorite games. I have so much time logged in that game. Subnautica is another one that I do, actually left early access.
Hades did as well.
Yeah, I didn't remember ever seeing Hades in early access.
It was on Epic for early access. It wasn't on Steam for early access.
Gotcha.
What?
Hades.
No, it was on Steam.
After it was a year on Epic,
but in early access it was Steam. That's when I bought it.
Oh, okay. Well, I was on Epic for early access a year before it was early access on Steam.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of games do that where they're like the ones that come from Epic go on early access for like a month and then it's like they're testing the Switch over or something, and then they go full access.
The Epic Game Store launched with Hades. Hades was its big get for the launch of the Epic Game Store.
I started playing Hades. It's all right.
It's good.
It's a roguelike.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking of video games, this Green Hell game on Kickstarter.
Anyway, back to that. So the base version of it that you can pledge for is standees. The art is not great. The art is not great on a lot of this, to be honest. But you can go for the higher level pledges, like the Survivor pledge, which starts at $97 gets you miniatures. You get character miniatures, and you get a UV printed dice roller instead of just the generic like wood looking dice roller. Bunch of different cards, map cards, night cards, scenario cards. There's 40 scenario cards, which go break down into 12 scenarios, each scenario using 3 to 4 cards that are like the different stages of the scenario. Got a bunch of different polyomino resource tokens that are all different shapes and sizes. 25 different item tokens that are items you can craft. Like they've got the recipe on the back and then the item on the front.
Oh yeah, all the mushrooms. I'd just be fucking gobbling up mushrooms like you wouldn't believe. And they would always be these weird colors. It's like, I need yellow mushrooms because it heals some specific part. Yeah.
In real world survival situations, mushrooms are almost certainly not worth your time.
I think there are some bad mushrooms, but
in the game,
yeah,
there should be a lot because more mushrooms are bad for you than good for you.
Yeah,
and even the good ones provide like next to no nutritional value.
Yeah,
they're okay for vitamins and minerals, but if you're trying to not starve to death, mushrooms are a bad way to go. Just in case you ever find yourself lost in the woods and you're trying to survive.
Unless it's like...
Don't focus on mushrooms.
Unless you find like a huge portobello farm, but then you're probably finding humanity. So you're probably going to do all right.
Yeah. Yeah. If you find a plowed field full of portobellos, look for the farmhouse.
Is that how they farm portobellos?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Tractor and hoe, just sort of...
I can only assume.
Probably not.
Portobello fields with just the giant stalks of portobellos.
Yeah. You gotta go out there and you pick the portobellos off.
Yeah,
it's like a Smurf village in here. There's not much else to say about this except it seems early. This is the second time they've tried to do it. It's very far-reaching, and it'll be hard to say whether it's good or not until it comes out.
I'm not blown away by the artwork, and their 3D renders of their minis and things don't look very good.
The insert seems
nice. They're using E-Raptor is the
Yeah,
insert
there's
company.
that's another one of those
Speaking of
the wooden ones,
insert companies. So
I like how the dice get put together to, gather resources. But yeah.
some aspects of it seem kind of cool, but I also, when I want to play a like hardcore survival game, I want to play a PC game by myself, not a board game with 4 other people.
It is cooperative as well, the PC game.
Oh yeah, that is like a key feature of that one that's not in some of them. And to be fair, I don't always want to play alone. Like I play a lot of survival crafting games with Megan, but I don't want to play with just like, I don't know. I don't want to play a board game. I want to play
I'm looking forward to Wizards with Guns.
I've not seen this one.
It looks like Don't Starve,
but with guns.
Wizards and guns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wizard Western.
Okay. That's probably going to be a pass for me then.
Yeah.
I started playing Craftopia because it showed up on the Xbox early access. It's fucking garbage. It is so bad. Anyway, that's Green Hell.
There's a million crafting games.
There are literally a million. It's crazy. Last up on Kickstarter.
Last up on Kickstarter, we have Laxrax, which is an insert for your Calax. Extremely well funded. 228,000 of its $11,000 goal. Over 2,200 backers. 2 weeks left to go, and its most popular pledge being around $55. But you can spend practically infinite money on this. So, depending on how many Calaxes you have.
Yeah, and how many of them you want to get for it. So the big feature for these, they're like little 3M sticky pad things combined with a 3D printed little plastic piece kind of thing
to hold rods.
That holds dowel rods and
or shelves or whatever.
Yeah, I would say the big influence for this one is that there are some of the like board gaming shelving that has the little spaces with those, so you can pull them out easily, because normally, when you stack a bunch of games on top of each other, it can be annoying for some people to like grab like the third one down or something like that. But usually they cost a lot of money, and a lot of people, when they first get into a good amount of people when they first get into the board gaming thing, they go like, oh, what's good shelving for this? And everyone's just like fucking Calaxes from IKEA. And I've got 6 in my house of the 2x4s. I've got 3 of them. And so that's one of the problems with like going for like new shelving is like it costs a lot, but then also you're like, well, I have all these other things I'm not using anymore. And that's where something like this would be nice, because it's like, oh, well, it's using something that I already have.
Yeah, so it modifies the Calax. They clearly put some cool design into this. Like when we were first talking about this on the Slack channel, Ant was like, "Oh, I could just 3D print these. Why would I like support this?" One, you get everything already made, so you don't have to like track down the files or come up with your own.
Not everybody has 3D printer. But.
Not everybody has access to a 3D printer. But the design that went into them, like you can, as you scroll down,
that's Ant showing his Cuban privilege.
Yeah. Oh my God. They have a couple design features. So there's 3 different spots you can put the dowel rods, whether you want it in like higher or lower, or whether you want like 2 that are directly side by side or a little bit more spaced out. They also do hold like plexiglass or glass panes, like they show for like, if you have really nice painted minis you want to display on one of your shelves, you can put some of those in there. They also use this little interesting tab system where you each piece has a tab on the bottom, and then they've got 3 little slots on the face for that tab to go. So you use 2 of them, and one goes face down on a box, and the tab on that one that's face down on the box goes into the other piece. So you can stick it and then stick it and stick them at the right appropriate height. The only problem I have with that is if you get exactly 4 of them, you use one of them to place 3 of them, and then you have that 4th one with nothing to help place it. And so
you just get 4 more,
so
and then you've got an extra one. That's fine.
You're always going to end up with one short.
Look, it's the fucking.
I wish they had just included a tool.
It's like the eight hot dog buns and 10 hot dogs or whatever that.
8 and 6.
It very much feels that way. It's like there's a little GIF that you two can see. We're not streaming, so
I mean, if anything, you can just then mark where it should be, and then you go for another one. Yeah,
like draw their first one, like mark it. Yeah, there's ways around it,
but it's good that they thought about that.
Yeah. So you can actually be accurate with
and keep them even. Using the dowel rods is kind of cool because it gives it kind of a rolling effect to slide it in and out. They do have some heavier duty ones, like when you get down into which ones to choose. They've got some that hold like I think fucking 4.
Yeah, because
to do heavy games.
Yeah, I want to say like the regular ones can hold like 3 or 4 pounds of games, but like there are some like our Mansions of Madness. Like I have one thing that's just the cardboard tiles and that's it, and that's going to be a pretty hefty one.
Yeah, they say the regular shelves, which would be 4 pieces and 4 dowel rods, holds 3.5 pounds. They do also have the heavy duty ones. Like they show, I think I can't tell if this GIF is them pulling off of the heavy duty one, but they show Tapestry is the one they do. But the so you can do the regular lax racks with 4 rods holds 3.5 pounds. The regular lax with 6 rods holds 4.5 pounds. The heavy duty with 8 rods and 4 grips holds 5.5. And then if you do regular with 8 rods, you can get 6 to 6.5. So like they've got a bunch of different ways to,
and even 7 for the heavy duty ones,
which they show like Lord of the Rings, like the Jime, Rising Sun. I don't remember Rising Sun being that heavy, but I guess it does have a lot of minis, and then those like all those like acrylic tiles and stuff.
Yep.
They've got add-ons for game organizer drawers for like small games, some acrylic shelves, display stands for artwork and stuff. The heavy duty shelf racks are add-ons. They also have these dry erase play count trackers that are kind of cool. They're like a vinyl stick-on that you can stick just on the box that's not adhesive, that are dry erase, so that you can, like, if you're doing like a 10 by 10, you could like put those 10 on the 10 games you're doing and then write on it as you're playing, like how many plays you've got of it, things like that.
Or even if you
just the
could
date you last played it,
or if say you have a bunch of games and you don't remember, you could be like, this game is best at 4. So it's like you're playing like we've got 4 people. What are the best games at 4? So they have a lot of uses from them, and then they even have little organization drawers too for like smaller games.
Yeah, and they're heavily customizable. Small customizable drawers. So I don't know, a lot of interesting stuff, I think. The display stands are also kind of appealing to me because like I have on top of my Kallax like 6 games in my living room that I picked out like 6 that I think have the kind of the coolest art or look the neatest, and have them just up on top of them. And so having the display stands would be kind of neato for that. But
this seems like an actual affordable
option
way. What Board Game Tables just did their like shelf system, and it was like just many hundreds of dollars, but it was like the full furniture piece, as well as adjustable crazy shelves.
I'm trying to imagine. I wonder how many you would typically do, like maybe 4 per cube. Because the bottom one you wouldn't have one, so maybe 3 per cube.
2.
I think you'd use fewer than 2. Or more than 2.
Depends on how many games.
Yeah, I mean, it depends heavily on what game you're doing and
but
where.
It looks like they between 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Because
so for $100 you get 188 grips, 188 rods, 188 3M pads. Oh, and a free extra grip of alignment. So they do include a spare one to do the alignment on all 4. See? They're thinking of my complaint before I even.
And you're using 8 per cube.
So you'd be using it probably 8 per cube. So they say it's enough to make 48 shelves. Yeah. So then I'm trying to think of how many shelves you'd actually use per cube. Because I've got 8, 16. So I've got 24 cubes out.
You've got 12 right behind you.
Yeah. I think I have 24 out there. So that'd be 2 per. Which probably wouldn't fill them all. I'd probably use more than 2.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd almost need to get a bigger one. It's the deity. There we go, maybe. Fully deck out a 5x5 with 3 shelves per cube. $150.
It's a lot of board games.
It's a lot of board games.
It's a lot of board games. Racks to the max. All in Juggernaut variety.
And that has like the customizable shelves and drawers and stuff, right?
So the racks to the max has the 188 regular grips, 48 heavy duty grips, 5 acrylic display shelves, and 1 pocket game organization drawer.
Yeah, which they have like custom inserts you can do for them.
Yeah, that's $185.
Yeah. Well, that's less than 1 Kallax, isn't it?
I don't think so anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what size Kallax you get.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Lax Racks. Go check it out if you're looking to trick out some or
it's-
all of your Kallax.
It's an affordable fancy board game
I'm
organization.
strongly considering doing it.
Yeah.
Unless Ant can find a good print thing and offers to do it because I can get dowels. That's not a problem.
Well, they have special dowels.
They have special dowels.
Did you miss the special
they did.
dowels?
Their dowels are they're supposed to
They're
be
not just your-
non-splintery and smooth rolly and
They're from the hardest part of the cedar birch tree.
yeah.
They're not weird core.
Normally they're bamboo in a craft store,
Well,
and they're using birch.
I've heard that bamboo is very weak.
I think it depends on the type of bamboo,
Yes.
and I'm assuming craft dowel rods are not using the strongest bits of bamboo.
Yeah.
But
It's also a fun name, Laxrax.
Laxrax,
Laxrax.
indeed. Yeah, go check it out. That is it.
That's it.
All done with news and Kickstarter, which moves us over to listener feedback. We have one bit of listener feedback. It comes from YouTube. Paulo just chiming in, letting us know he's still
We
alive.
said his name 3 times and
We
he
did.
appeared.
Yep. On
Candyman style.
last week's
I was
episode,
thinking Beetlejuice, but
I mean, yeah.
also fair.
I mean, yeah. I also looked into a mirror when I was saying his name. So yeah.
He commented on last week's episode, episode 241, name check. In Kanban, Sandra doesn't move in the first round of the game. She stays at her office doing administrative work. Kanban is so awesome. Haven't played the newest version, so I don't know if you guys...
We did that.
Okay.
So yeah, I just either didn't mention it or was just
I think I may have mentioned
Oh, okay.
like the first round you get screwed and like, I haven't had a chance to
Yeah.
do anything and you're already negatively hitting me, and it was more a joke. but
yeah. For me, it was more of a like the first couple rounds of like because no matter how well you plan yourself out, you're not getting the 3 cars by the second or third round.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, Kanban is really good. I really want to play EV. I have it. I just need to make time to play it.
Yep.
So that's it for listener feedback.
yep.
If you would like to get a hold of us, there's a bunch of ways to do so. But before we go into all of those, I just want to remind you the contact information is good so that you can let us know if you're interested in coming to Mile High Cabin Con. Send us an email, get in the Slack channel. Let us know if you're interested in coming to Mile High Cabin Con, May 18th through the 22nd of 2022. 21 and up, must be vaccinated.
Winter
Those are the
Park, Colorado.
requirements. Winter Park, Colorado. The cost of tickets are going to be like $400 for 4 nights.
It depends on how many people come.
It'll depend a little bit, but it's going to be around $400. I think is what Paul said it should come out to.
And depends on what room you get. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the bunk bed room with 4 bunk beds, that's going to be significantly cheaper than if you get the king bed to yourself with a private bathroom.
with the closet with Jeff and Zach in it.
That does not notably.
We should have charged him more.
Doesn't
He gets the Jeff and Zach closet.
Yeah.
yeah. You have Zach and Jeff just right there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Trapped.
Yeah,
They
you
can't get away
you
from
get the power over the life of 2 people, so it's got to be worth a little bit more.
The 2 hosts.
Yeah.
You're the hosts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You can dramatically affect the balance of
Yeah.
power in the podcast.
Yeah. Close the door, lock it. How's this for a fucking podcast vote?
Was there a door?
I don't know.
We left it open, whatever it was, because
Yeah.
it'd be way too hot.
Yep.
Just seal in the.
At the very least, the door opened inward.
Yeah.
So you could just be like, and I'm going to put a chair right there, and that's
Yeah.
where those guys are now.
Mhm.
But yeah,
You too could be trapped in a closet.
it's just the cost, about $400, just going to be the cost of the lodging. You'll still need to pay for your flights and transportation and food. You guys did a couple big meals out, and then like a couple
One
grocery
meal
store
out
runs.
and like a little breakfast thing, and then
Yeah.
mostly just ordered in after that.
I haven't taken to ratcheting it up to the next level where it includes much more than just that.
And then people bring lots of snacks and booze. anyways.
Yeah, lots
To-
of snacks,
to
lots of
freely drink.
booze. It's a good time.
a good
So I've
time.
heard. I have not experienced it. This will be my first time going. So if you want to go to Adrian's inaugural,
It'll
Wow,
probably be a
Cabin
lot of
Con.
people's inaugural, actually. Mostly the teachers.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, there you go. So if you're interested in that, pay attention to the contact information that we're about to give you now, because there's a lot of ways to get a hold of us. You can send us an email.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
You can follow us over on Twitter, where I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
I am Zach _MHGG.
I am Jeff _MHGG.
we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/MHGameGuys, where podcast episodes are now immediately published. Because that's a thing Facebook does now. And they were like, hey, do you want to publish podcast episodes to this Facebook page? And I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? Might as well use it for something. We have an Instagram at MHGameGuys.
I should probably put up con pictures. But
Definitely should. Entice people.
yes,
Post
entice.
them on the Twitter, too. Our website, myhighgameguys.com, has old episode posts with links to things like the Slack channel, if you want to get to it that way. You can also go to punchboardmedia.com, which is where we're doing all of our current episode posts with links to like the news items and Kickstarters we talk about if you want to follow up on those, as well as links to the Slack channel, the BGG guild number 2731, things of that nature. You can also follow us or subscribe to us over on Twitch, twitch.tv/MHGameGuys. This Friday, I think, barring any major catastrophes, we're actually going to stream again for the first time in a few weeks. And we're finally going to get around to City of Spies. So we'll do a 3-player game of City of Spies this Friday, around about 6, or no, we do those earlier. We do those like 5.
Yeah.
Like 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Over on Twitch, if you want to see us play City of Spies. That is it.
That's it.
That's the episode. Let us know if you want to come to Mahi Cabin Con, either the April version or if you'd be interested in an August date. We don't have official date.
May and August
18th to 22nd. I don't know why I keep just really trying to
know.
force it to be April.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want it to be even more snowy.
Yeah, where
I
it's
love the snow.
impossible to actually rent anything because everyone is renting them for skiing and snowboarding.
Yeah. Anyway, the May one, or if you're interested in August, we don't have hard dates for August yet.
No.
We'll probably lock those down sometime
After,
in April or May.
Yeah.
When we get closer and are locked
Depends
in
on how
this
much
one.
interest we have. Like the more you do it, maybe the less people you're going to get because it's happening more often. And
Yeah, or we just start having a spring crew and a summer crew that are just slightly different crews.
Yeah.
The teachers all come in May when it's, the end of the school year and they're free. And then, the accountants all go in the summer when, I don't know, whatever accountants do.
end of year.
Yeah.
When they don't, well, I think you have them reversed.
The fact that we're not doing it in June or July is great.
Yeah.
As an accountant who has their fiscal year be June 30th.
I don't know. Boyd went to the summer one, so I assume it wasn't a busy time for him.
But if it had been much later, it would have been busy for him because I think that's when his fiscal year ends. Is like in September, I'd guess, or something.
Oh, accountants.
Yeah.
Anyway, all of that stuff aside, let us know if you want to come. We're looking for more peoples.
More bodies.
Yeah, that's it for the episode. Thanks everybody for listening. As always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm No Man's Jeff.
Bye.
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 Punchboard Media, where we all
bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair
At punchboardmedia.com.